Hi, I'm Sasha from Corsual.com and I had the great opportunity to have an interview with two guys from Logitech. So, in this video you can find out what they have to say about their new keyboard, their headsets and their mobile app Arx, as well as their thoughts on virtual reality and PC gaming in general. But first of all, let's hear who they are and what they play.
Well, I'm Andrew Coonrad, and I'm the Technical Marketing Manager for Logitech G, which means I help communicate about the technical aspects of our products to end users and press and gamers.
I'm Doug Sharp, and I'm the Global Product Marketing Manager for Audio.
I've been playing games my whole life, but my favorite are shooters and RTS mainly. Right now I'm playing Dota a lot and Counter-Strike, and I'm really excited about Star Citizen.
Lately I've been playing a lot of Diablo. It's a new season. I play Hearthstone. I love BioWare. I played through Dragon Age twice this last year. I like MOBAs too. So I'm trying to get better at Heroes of the Storm because it's newer, but I love League of Legends. It's fun to watch. Yeah.
So today we have two new products to show you guys. First is the G410 Atlas Spectrum, which is our new compact keyboard. It's sort of the smaller brother of the G910 Orion Spectrum. And the G410 is half the weight and doesn't have the 10 key number system, which is on a normal keyboard. So it's sort of a smaller form factor, lighter, and a little bit more compact and mobile. And it's designed for the esports gamers that travel a lot. If you want to take your hardware to a LAN event, something like that.
Those are cool.
And of course it uses the new Roamer G switch, which is the switch that we designed specifically for gaming. It's a mechanical gaming switch that has 25% increased actuation speed, as well as 20 million extra clicks on the standard, which is 50 million. So it has 70 million actuations, which is awesome. So it's a much longer lasting product. And it's similar to other mechanical switches, but it's quieter, has a nice even switch actuation. But of course it uses 16.8 million colors. So with Logitech gaming software, you can do all your color integration and do patterns and different things for different games, as well as per game lighting profiles. So you can have different lighting profiles for the different games that you launch automatically. And yeah, it's an all-around great compact keyboard for people who like to have a little bit more space on their desktop, whether you're a RTS player and you want just the only keys that you need, or if you're a first-person shooter player and you need more space for your mouse to wildly move around for Counter-Strike or something like that. It's a great keyboard for that. Yeah.
So the next product we'd like to show you and talk about is the G633 and the G933. We have two brand new headsets we're really excited about. One is wired and one is wireless. Wireless, I think in the past has been looked down on a little bit.
The 2.4 gigahertz band is very complicated. There's a lot of devices that are using the 2.4 gigahertz band, so we made a lot of improvements in the connection between the receiver and the headset itself. So you'll experience no interference with other devices and other connections. So
Definitely a lot less.
A lot less. I shouldn't say no.
You never know.
Never
Some people
are
have their computer next to their microwave
Sure.
in the dorm room.
Sure.
So there's some things you kind of have to.
If you're trying to use these inside of a nuclear power plant, maybe you'll have a little interference. So
Yeah.
who knows?
But we went from 12 meters to 15 meters as our spec, and we're actually getting a lot more in some of our testing. So we're super comfortable with that increase in range. And the brand new protocols, like how it talks to the dongle talks to the headset, is improved a lot.
But also you can use a 3.5 cable for standard interaction with any other analog audio device.
That was like the biggest, I think that was the biggest shift, especially in the way we designed the headsets. Because previously we're really focused on PC use, but you know the research that we do shows that everyone loves to play in the living room too, right? A lot of people have consoles.
Well, and why should you have to buy 3 different headsets? Well, of course we would like that, but you know, we wanted to give the gamer something that they can use over all their different devices, whether it be legacy consoles or the PC or anything like a cell phone.
Yeah.
And that comes to the really unique feature with the Artemis Spectrum line of headsets, which are of course the G633 and the 933, is that you can add in an analog input simultaneously as to when you're listening through USB.
Yeah.
So whether it's wireless or wired, you can add in your cell phone or any other device through the 3.5 input and it will simultaneously play the audio from both. So there's a lot of different ways you can use that. Let's say, you know, modern day professionals, there's a lot of gamers that grew up playing games and now we have to actually get real jobs. But now you can listen to your conference calls and play games at the same time. And you can use the mic.
You don't do that.
Of course not, absolutely not. But you can use the mic to mute the mic in game and answer questions in a phone call or order a pizza, or if you're on hold with your credit card company, and then unmute your mic and go right back to your game. So we included a 3.5mm cable that has a microphone in line, so you have a lot of different options for ways that you can interact with different content.
Yeah, there's a ton of ways to connect it. And the first being that, they work unpowered. I think a lot of people requested that too. So even the wireless one, if you are out of power, you can plug in the analog cable and still just use it as a regular headset.
Well, and if you have a sound card or a particular type of hardware that you really like, let's say you have a FiO, DAC or some sort of external device that you plug your headphones into, now you can use these as well, and you'll get an even better experience because the reference quality of the driver is so high. It really handles different types of inputs well.
We have a new Avnera chipset. It has uncompressed audio. The Avnera chipset allows for a balanced connector to the amplification for analog as it pushes out the sound. So we were able to take advantage of that, and we also made some other small adjustments inside. And I think people who really appreciate bass or maybe a little bit more warmth, you can definitely hear there is a slight bit more maybe in this.
And it's a little tighter as well.
Yeah. However, our 10-band equalizer is really good, and it integrates with a firmware. It's not just a software equalizer.
Exactly.
So on both headsets, you have a lot of control. And we have claims for 8 hours with full RGB and 12 hours with no RGB. But I'm very sure that people get at least that, because we're actually getting a lot more, but we wanted to be conservative and make sure everyone was really happy. I would say from the core, probably the most exciting new feature is our patent pending driver that features very, very low distortion, especially in the mids and the highs. It's a new hybrid mesh material. From the fit and feel, comfort is always number one importance. So you'll notice that it's a little bit lighter than our last model, and we did a lot to improve the pads. They're a little bit softer than the older ones. People really loved the fact that they're removable and washable. We have a flat surface on the pad itself now, stitched, and you get a little bit better of a seal, and it actually spreads the weight a little bit better against your head, so that adds to the comfort too. A lot of people really loved our boom mic before. We made it more invisible, and it actually also has an extension. It mutes. Something people wanted us to do is have it mute sooner than later. So previously, we had this great feature where it will mute when it's pushed up, but it would mute probably at about 60 degrees, and we moved it to about 30. And you wouldn't think so, but it took a lot of work to get this switched around. Probably a team of 4 or 5 different engineers, and we're looking at the space because we don't want the headset to be any bigger than it needs to be. And we also want the actuation to feel really good. So something else we added was the slight detent. You can feel it when it clicks. We've got 16.8 million colors, RGB, dual lighting zones. So the zone on the side is different than the zone on the back. This can be controlled via software. The software itself in the game can control the lighting for effects. Something really cool on GTA 5 is that when the police are chasing you on the keyboard, you can get this red and blue lighting effect that's really fun. It kind of alerts you and lets you know that they're after you. But you could easily imagine how cool it would be if, I have a friend that I play Diablo with, and she really wants it to flash gold when you kill the treasure goblin. So those are good examples of things we could possibly do with lighting effects. So, something people really loved on the G930s, the previous model of this was the G keys. They're completely reprogrammable. You can make them anything you want. We have a lot of new audio capabilities, so you can use it for play, pause, for media. You could use it for bass, treble, up and down. You can reprogram it for that. Right now we have it set to EQ cycle. You've got surround sound off and on, and you also have lighting controls. But the fun thing is you can make it anything you want. So those are the presets. Another great thing about the software is that we just incorporated DTS Headphone X. So prior to this headset launch, we had Dolby, which we really love. It's a great codec, it's great surround sound, but it's very focused on cinematics. It's this big, great home theater or actually theater experience, A good example would be Battlefield, I think sounds really awesome with Dolby because there's a lot of chatter and things going on in the game. And then DTS is kind of coming from a different perspective. They're really about They've kind of come more from the music industry and from studio work, and they're about accuracy. So I think that the thing that they add for us is that ability to change out your rooms, and you can have something that's super accurate and doesn't add a lot of reverb but has really good speaker placement. So games like Alien Isolation, where you already have this incredible audio experience they've designed for you. We're on a creaky ship and you can hear the water and you're listening for face huggers to come at you, and it's got all the ambiance that you need already, and DTS does a really good job of making it super accurate.
Yeah, it's really good at putting you in a physical space, right? Whether it be a listening room or something like that. In the future, we'll be able to offer different listening rooms for, say, developers who, you have a guy who spends hundreds and hundreds of hours designing the sound for a particular game. And so being able to sit in the exact space that guy used to design his game is a very powerful experience. So with a game like Alien Isolation, that sound is already great, but when you use DTS, it puts you in a physical space that allows you to make you maybe feel like you're actually in the ship, or actually about to get killed.
It could match a sound studio where maybe they created it, or it could match the sound studio experience that they wanted you to have.
Exactly.
So we could actually work with a developer and they could say, I love the room that the company has given me, but I wish I had my speakers out 5 more feet. And then we could change that in the sound profile for the room and give the developer 5 more feet of space, and he can listen to it and check it out and see how it sounds with the game.
And we're the only headset that supports certified Dolby Surround and DTS Headphone X Surround, which is really great.
It was sad before, that you would have to choose kind of between the headsets just based on surround sound if you were a fan of one or the other. And we thought that both of them had huge features, and benefits for the user, just kind of depending on how gamers wanted to play and what kind of games they played, so why should they have to choose?
And one of the big things that we're working on in the future is making software a bigger part of how you interact with Logitech products. And so through Logitech gaming software and our Arx Control software, we're working with developers to bring cool effects like you were talking about in GTA 5, as well as better ways to interact with the second screen app on Arx. If you don't know what Arx is, it's an application that you can launch on an iOS or Android device that will allow you to connect to your PC through Wi-Fi. You don't even actually need to have a Logitech product. You can just download the app and use it through your Wi-Fi. And it'll allow you to monitor things on your PC like performance or temperature, things like that. But there's also discrete apps that will work with other games to give you more information than you get on the screen itself. So that's something that we're working really closely with developers to bring you guys some really cool new integrations. So look forward to that in the future.
Yeah, I like we have one now, I think with Borderlands pre-sequel, where you can see the map and the quests and stuff. It's really cool.
It's really important too because we were talking about this before with Sasha, where having a second screen app is okay, but if it's a touch screen, there are a lot of different types of things that you can do with a touch screen that you wouldn't do with a mouse and keyboard. So like on RPG games, to be able to have inventories or things like that, it's a really unique experience that you wouldn't get normally on the PC. So there's a lot of interesting ways in the future that we're thinking about and working with developers to bring new ways to interact with your Logitech gaming products.
Yeah, you could easily imagine that, right? How great it would be to have the inventory on the app.
Exactly.
Because if it's on your screen, you can't see what's going on, and you could be being killed by a bear in Skyrim, and you wouldn't know. So it's nice to get my screen nice and clean and pristine and see the environment.
Exactly. And then you could just use your finger to flip through the different menus. So it's really easy.
I really think the first step there is to start with a Unity plugin.
Yes, that's what you were saying. So you heard it first. We're going to steal Zasha's idea.
Yeah.
Or maybe we already have. Who knows?
What do you think about virtual reality? What's the Logitech point of view about that issue? Is this something that will be big, and will you do something there too? Or?
Yeah, so virtual reality is obviously a very popular idea right now. There's not a lot of core products out there, so the future of what the consumer products and the interactability will be is still kind of up in the air. But a lot of different virtual reality companies are designing their own way of interacting. But I think what Logitech has is we have a long history of making interactive products, whether it be wheels or flight sticks or controllers or mice and keyboards or headsets. And so we're in a unique position to be able to offer that expertise to the world of virtual reality and allow devices to be used in a way that may be unique and different in the future. So that's kind of, it's hard to say because there isn't any consumer product yet, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, there hasn't been anything that has been a huge success yet.
Right.
I think everybody's really excited about Oculus, and people are excited about AR too, augmented reality and mixed reality, and everyone wants the holodeck, you know.
Right.
But I think the combination that I'm most excited about would probably be, and that I think is the closest to us, right, closest to really happening, is kind of that seated, like a VR AR experience.
Right.
I really love watching one of my coworkers plays Elite Dangerous, just a new space game. So beautiful. And I think having an experience that was both virtual reality where you can look around in that cockpit and having an augmented reality would be really wonderful. Now, that being said, Logitech, we're not, I'm not speaking to products that we're working on or the future. I'm just saying it from our perspective. I think everyone's really excited about it, and I'm just saying personally, I really love the Elite Dangerous concept.
But in a way, you're still waiting how successful it is in the end.
Yeah, everything is kind of in transition, and we're a leader. We definitely are creating and working on new things all the time, but all the parts need to be in play.
Yeah, we have a lot of ideas, we're always innovating and thinking of new ways that we can interact with future markets. But of course today we don't have any specific products to talk about, but you could imagine that, like Doug was saying, our stationary desk experience, there's going to be headsets, the Valve headset, we've already seen a lot of different things where you need a big room and you're walking around, and it's very interactive with the body and the movement. But there's also, Oculus, which is more of a seated, fit the environment around the user sort of thing. So products like controllers or wheels or flight sticks, those are going to be perfect for that kind of experience. So we believe that we have a lot of potential to interact with the VR gamer.
Do you think the PC gaming market will become bigger now that Steam machines start? And or do you think it will keep the way it is with consoles as a leading platform and the PC in a way plays?
Well, there's a lot of data that supports that PC gaming is actually growing. And year over year, it's always growing. And so, we have full confidence in the fact that PC gaming isn't going anywhere, especially with esports, and we have streaming, and lots of people just watch content that's generated on a PC or some sort of game platform. And I believe that the PC is the ultimate gaming platform. So,
and you can kind of very clearly see everything kind of, there's a movement to everything kind of coming together with changes that Microsoft's making to some of the consoles, and
they're porting Windows 10, right? So
I don't know how much I'm going to say, but that's I think that transition from the living room to the gaming room to your mobile device, in the future, I have high hopes that those experiences will be a little bit more transparent between each other. I think, and there's companies out there doing so many cool things. I think Blizzard has done some really interesting stuff with like how they have the auction house in World of Warcraft, or how they've used the Unity engine, and Hearthstone is just a really wonderful example of a game that just kind of ported so seamlessly between all of mobile and PC. I think everything's moving that way, and PC's not going anywhere.
PC master race.
Yeah, PC's going nowhere. PC's taking over, maybe. My mobile phone is kind of a PC.
At Logitech G, we just love games. Wherever they are, we love them. So,
guys, thank you very much.
Absolutely, Zasha,
Thanks.
thank you so much for having us,
Yeah.
and thank you for your viewers for watching.
Yeah.